Welcome to Mirtec here at IPC Apex. I'm delighted to be joined by Brian D'Amico. Nice to see you, Brian.
Nice to see you as always, Trevor.
And it's good to see you back. I mean, it's been a couple of years since we've actually...
Well, it was last year. I was here last year. Give me some credit for that.
Okay. All right, okay. So we're on the booth just now, and we've got a new machine behind us. It's the Genesys CC.
Yes.
And I believe the CC stands for Conformal Coating.
Yes.
So give us the features, if you like, for the Genesys CC.
Okay, very good. Well, this is a brand new product, like you say, for the show. It's Genesys CC Conformal Coat Inspection System. This machine is full 2D inspection for conformal coating, as well as full 2D inspection for SMT and through-hole devices.
Okay.
So there's a lot of neat features to it. It does use our standard 15 megapixel co-express camera technology, which is manufactured by Mirtec for use in all of our products. Yep. Really good signal to noise ratio, better than any off-the-shelf camera that you can get, which is very important. A couple other neat features that we're talking about here. It does have a PCB flipper in it.
Right.
Conformal coating is typically an offline type of inspection, right? So you conformal coat the top and bottom of a board. Once that board is in the machine, we can inspect the top side, flip it, and do the bottom side, and then have the board exit. There's a couple of different ways of doing that. We also have a Z control, which is our Z-axis multi-focus imaging system.
Right.
Basically, we're looking for conformal coating. We're looking for bubbles, coverage, and non-coverage. When you say coverage, it's like we want to make sure everything's covered on the board that should be covered. Right. When you say non-coverage, you want to make sure those things on the board which are not supposed to have conformal coating don't have them.
Right, so you're not looking for splashes and things like that might occur.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're looking for, obviously, tight line definition is important in conformal coating. And one of the other areas is on the edges, because you want to make sure you're covered on the edges, because otherwise you can get ingress underneath the actual coating itself.
Yep.
Can you check for that as well?
One of the things we have on this machine as well is an 18 megapixel co-express side camera system, which is really useful for dealing with certain different devices, whether they be tall devices or anything along those lines where you can't really see it with the top-down camera. Right. So that's kind of another feature as well. So we've got not only the standard 15 megapixel top-down co-express camera, but we have 18 megapixel side cameras, 4 of them for doing conformal coating for sides of devices and also edges like you're talking about. Right. The main thing with these machines here is you really want to be able to make sure that you check very good for coverage and non-coverage. It gets a little bit tricky sometimes when you're dealing with shadowing of different devices as well, and that really comes down to the lighting, and that's one of the things that Mirtec does offer is we manufacture all of our own hardware. We've always focused on being the most technologically advanced company out there. That's what we do. Right. And this machine right here, currently the way it exists, is the most technologically advanced 2D conformal coating system in the world. Right. So that's important.
How does it compare in terms of cycle time as well? Is it
pretty darn fast, quite frankly, because we're talking about a 15 megapixel top-down camera, 15 micron resolution is what we have on there, so the FOV is rather large, so that's another thing as well. When you're dealing with a conformal cone inspection machine, you're dealing with batch operations. You are putting boards through it on a batch, right? Right. Bottom line is you want to get those through as quickly as possible. That's kind of a nice feature as well. So speed is critical, and thank you for bringing that up. I forgot to. Thank you.
All right, great. So, launch the show, available now?
It'll be available very soon, quite frankly. It's getting very, very close. This is the first time we launched something like this, so we're going through. We do have a couple of other things that we're working on with software for this thing, completing some things, but it'll be available probably within about 2 to 3 months.
Great. Okay, so we'll look out for that.
Yeah.
What else have we got in the booth this week?
So we have a total of 5 machines. We kind of downsized our booth this year, just basically the way Apex was last year. We downsized. Next year, this is too tight. We've gone with a 30 by 40 again next year.
You're going to expand again
We
next
have
year.
to. We have to. You got to get out of your booth to change your mind. We've got a total of 5 machines here, and the machines are a little bit large, so it takes a lot of the room up. Okay. But with us, we've brought our MV3-Omni desktop 3D AOI. Yep. Best desktop 3D AOI system on the market, on the planet, quite frankly. This year, we grew by about 22.6%. Now, believe it or not, I'm going to throw in the 0.6% because we earned it. But really what it comes down to is about 45% of our business this year has been desktop sales. Believe it or not,
really?
It's done very, very well.
Interesting.
Part of the reason why it's done so well is because we use the same exact hardware that we use with our MV6-Omni, which is kind of our flagship product. Yeah. So the MV6-Omni is here as well. They both share the same hardware configuration, so programs are 100% compatible between the two. Yeah. We also have our SPI system here, which is our MS11 That's another award-winning product line that we have. And then we also brought our Genesys pin machine. So the Genesys series is a separate series. Right. The pin system was designed specifically for the automotive manufacturing. Yeah, right? Yeah,
for the pin insertion.
Pin insertion, but it also does 3D for SMT parts on that board as well. And what we could do on that system there, it's an awesome system. What we could do on that system there is we can measure up to a 50 millimeter tall pin, which I believe is the largest, the best spec out of any of our competitors.
So you're looking at down at the planarity of the pin to make sure it's absolutely straight.
Yep.
Or in the case of a tall component, to make sure it's not moving. It's not.
We want to make sure there's no pitch between it, no splay between. You know, if you have a multi-leaded connector, we also want to make sure that we have the exact. From the top of the lead to the shoulder, we want to make sure that that's correct. Of course, you're looking for missing pins, right? So anything that's bent. Bottom line is when you're talking about these automotive boards, you're taking these male connectors and you're mating them with female connectors. So they have to be right on. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do that.
Right.
And that is a big problem, especially if you're dealing with like a 50 millimeter tall or a 43 millimeter tall pin. Very easy for them to get bent in the manufacturing process.
Right.
So that has to be inspected very accurately to make sure that, once again, you can manufacture and create the automotive electronics correctly. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back and bend everything back on its own.
Yeah, you're going to make sure they mate correctly. And so, do you do that inspection then from the underside or from?
No, it's from actually we can do with that system as well. We have a flipper. So the flipper is the main thing that we just introduced this year. We have a flipper available on our MV6-Omni, on the Genesys pin machine, on the Genesys CC machine. That's kind of important because there's, once again, a lot of times when you want to be able to do both top and bottom. While you have the board in the machine, that's really the best in not only flexibility, but also efficiency.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could do from top side, also from bottom side. And the fact that we could do SMT as well as pin inspection, that's big because there are some dedicated pin inspection systems. Yeah. But realistically, that's just, you know, not going to do anything for the rest of the board. Doesn't kind of make sense.
Right.
So I think we have the edge there when it comes to that, as well as the spec.
I think you do, and I think the flipper is a great idea. I mean, it cuts down in cycle time.
Yep.
It's a super idea. So,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
always evolving, Brian. You know, and that's one of the things I love about Mirtec. You're always coming up with new stuff. So
we try, Trev.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for showing us that and the Genesys CC today, and we'll look forward to catching up again in the future.
My pleasure. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you.
Expand your inspection capabilities. Inspect in 5 directions using top and 4-angled cameras simultaneously. Find defects that a single camera can't detect, such as OCR and QFN solder bridge. Best in class performance 18 megapixel sensor.